your boy WEEZYFMAMBA, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you guys once again so much for being here. We really appreciate it. On today's video, we're going to be going ahead and ranking the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise in a tier list. We've been doing these tier list videos the last couple of weeks, and we do polls every week to see which tier list or which horror franchise you guys want to see ranked in a tier list. And this poll ended with A Nightmare on Elm Street winning. We'll have another poll up next week for another film franchise, so stick around for that. Of course, A Nightmare on Elm Street, the 1980s connoisseur back into the 90s, reviving kind of now into this. It became one of the most iconic horror franchises in the series. As you guys can see, I even have A Nightmare on Elm Street 1 original poster right here on my wall. Super incredible series, but there's a lot of bad that comes with a lot of good. So again, we're going to go ahead and rank these in order. I'm going to go backwards. I always start with the latest release and go all the way to the original. So let's hop on to it. Right now, ladies and gentlemen, let's get to the list. Nightmare on Elm Street remake. Absolutely terrible. Put it in Nightmare. Again, cliche, shot for shot. Of the original, but done in a worse, tastier way, or non-tastier way, a tasteless way, I should say. It's just an abomination of a film. The first time we don't have Robert Englund as Freddy, which again, everybody met with like horrible taste. They're like, yo, this can't be the same. This will suck. But let's all be honest here. Jackie Haley did a phenomenal job as Freddy, believe it or not. The character himself, like his script and his dialogue, it was just all fucking terrible. I mean, let's be real. Samuel Bayer, the director of the remake, was a music video director. Never directed anything before outside of music videos. And this guy gets put on to do the absolute one of the biggest horror franchises first reboot. It's kind of crazy how he got the job. Again, nothing personal, but it just wasn't the man. Wasn't the man for this, okay? Not a fan. Not a fan. Let's move on to Freddy versus Jason. We're going backwards in time once again. Freddy versus Jason, great film. It is so much fun. Again, it's not the best, but it's also not bad. It gives you an hour and a half of mindless entertainment, blood and guts. Funny dialogue. This movie deserves the comedy. The comedy that we tried to do in all the other films is really bad. So I hope that we don't like kind of display that. Freddy versus Jason plays on its tropes that it's supposed to be, you know, bad, that it's good. It was just a hoot and hollering good time. You guys know how good it is. And it's got one of the best kills in both franchises ever. Of the Friday the 13th franchise and the Nightmare franchise. It becomes, unfortunately, this is a Nightmare tier list, but one of the best kills ever was Jason in this film when he folded that motherfucker in half. If you know, you know. If you know, you know. Moving on to New Nightmare, ladies and gentlemen. Absolutely, we're putting this back up. This was a breath of fresh air into the franchise after some poor films. We have some goodies, okay? New Nightmare, breathing life into the franchise, bringing it back, having that ability to really come in and like make this whole trope of Freddy like using this demonic force to come back and hunt down the cast and crew of the Elm Street franchise. Like, it's so fourth wall-y that it's super nice and it knows what it's doing. Again, Wes Craven, Robert Englund combination is just so good. And I truly love this film. It's not great. Again, there's still some bad, but anytime that you have a film that kind of plays, makes fun of itself and plays on itself is really funny. Super good. So, part 5, ladies and gentlemen, right? Part 5. Is this where we're at now? I think it's Dream Child, right? Yeah, no, it's Final Nightmare. Final Nightmare. Freddy's Dead. Yes, this is the worst film in the franchise. I forgot. Worst film, absolutely, in the franchise. We know how poor this was. Again, um, just Maggie. Maggie is an absolute abomination. Freddy's like long lost daughter. They played this trope. Again, just so cliche of what is in this film. They tried so bad to be funny in this movie. Freddy's dialogue, Robert Englund's dialogue, again, Englund does great, but everything that they tried to make this into a more black comedy film than a fucking horror film, which has been trying to happen throughout the entire dream sequence, truly, is just, it's so poorly done. And this is iconically said to be the worst film out of anybody's tier lists. Freddy's Dead is always at the bottom. Some people put it above the remake, but again, dude, it's just an abomination. Again, not a big fan, and here we are. Okay. Also, with the fact that the MPAA truly tried to dumb this film down from like almost to a PG-13 rating, it just wasn't the good. Snooze Fest. This belongs for part 5, The Dream Child. Again, kind of like the showcase of a, dream sequences, showcasing Freddy's mother, and things like that. It's just dreary. It's a dreary snooze fest. Again, it was had a rushed production simply because the popularity of Nightmare 4, we wanted to get Nightmare 5 out. People were finally starting to do these sequels really close to each other. Every year there was a Call of Duty. Now you guys understand why Call of Duty is so bad now. You got to take time. You don't have to have a release every year. And so again, this was just a snooze fest, man. Again, too much comedy. They tried to, once again, really dumb it down from the MPAA, trying to make this R-rated film into a PG-13 film. And again, it's just, they cut so much out, and it really takes away from the art of the director and the writers. And I hate that shit. I fucking hate that shit. Let people make whatever they want to make, dude. We have a human right, freedom of speech. We should not have a rating system that dumps it down. I've been literally shooting people in video games and hunting people in horror video games my entire life, and I have no desire to do what I do in video games in real life. So again, knock it off, man. Continuing with the dream sequence, we're going backwards into it. Obviously, Nightmare 4, also a snooze fest. Little bit better than 5, but not much better. Dream Master. Of course, at this point, we've turned into like a cartoon character. It's just, to me, the surviving characters of Dream Warriors, which again, we'll get back to part 3 here, is a little bit bizarre. But here we are. It's just so cliche. Once again, they tried to literally replicate the original film of its flavor and taste of, the boiler room, the pipes, the steaming pipes, chasing down tilted hallways. It was like a carbon copy of like all the intense parts of part 1. Back again. It just, to me, it's whatever, dude. So yeah, here we are. Part 3, Dream Warriors. Is dreamy, ladies and gentlemen, the first entrance into the Dream trilogy. It's an absolutely flawless film. Again, crazy for the third film in the franchise. Normally things start to taper off. But it was so good. It was so good. Um, again, Nancy returns. She's a psychiatrist. You know, patients, treating patients that are haunted by Freddy, like in their dreams. Super dope. But all the artistic sequences, including the makeup and effects, which was absolutely insane for 1987. We can't forget about the the syringe claws, right? The iconic syringe claws, the puppet show that was like with tendons. Like, come on, man. In the 1980s, even before this, you never saw something like this. This really, really set the wave for future gore and just this is an iconic film. Iconic film. Nightmare 2. Nightmare 2 is going to go to the bottom of good. It is, you know, I think this is good, and I'm probably going to move Dream Master up because even though they copied essentially everything from the previous 4 films, we have that's what made the formula good, right? It just goes into watchable because of the fucking comedy that they tried to do with it, but also with the copying. Essentially, they plagiarized their own self. The only people that can do that is Bruce Campbell and Sam Raimi. I'm sorry. Evil Dead 2. And by the way, Evil Dead franchise, we got to rank that too. Nightmare, Freddy's Revenge, again, sequel. It's a great sequel. It's a lot of fun, pushed a lot of buttons with a lot of people. The movie ended up becoming no controversy here, but it was like more of a gay theme. Again, it was very shocking in the 80s to really have anything like this. This was new. Like, this movie would be made today, no problem, because everybody is like openly, you know, acceptance of gays and, bisexuals, etc. This incentivizes a lot of things that from the 80s, you're like, holy shit, how did this even come about? Dude, 1985, there's not a lot of, you know, stuff like this out there. This was the wave of, the AIDS pandemic in the mid 80s and the HIV. And so there was a huge controversy with this film. And I think they had the big balls to make something like this. Again, I truly, truly enjoy this film. And the acting was the best part. The characters, likable. Bringing back Robert Englund. It was just so good. And here we are. Okay. Moving on to the original. Obviously, ladies and gentlemen, the original is in Dreamy. But for me, is it the best or the worst or the second best? To me, it's like, this is always so hard, but you can't deny the original. The original started it all. Okay. We're talking about, in general, the official start of everything. And to me, this movie terrified me as a child, you know, trying to have my own dreams and thoughts when I was doing this as a child. Nancy, perfect. The kills, the gore, shocking. The ceiling wall, the ceiling. The ceiling. You guys know what I'm talking about. The fucking ceiling. Robert Englund, the makeup design, the sound editing, all of it. Jump scares. On top, the start of Johnny Depp's career. Like, a lot of people don't even understand. Johnny Depp was a child in this film. Like, this all really set a lot of things in motion for a lot of good things to come. Not just horror, but also giving, and I like to say this, giving Johnny Depp the platform to become who he is today, making the incredible films that Johnny Depp has made. I really like to think that Nightmare really started that. This film, again, is iconic. It's a classic. It's the best in the franchise. There's no doubt about it. This is my tier list. Thank you for watching. Tell me what you guys think down in the comment section. Do you think that this is, or what do you think is on your tier list? Where do you guys rank the franchise? And honestly, it's been 14 years, right? Since 15 years since we've had a Nightmare film. So I think we're in due time, you know, to maybe have another soft reboot and get some fresh eyeballs on there. So again, absolutely love this franchise. At the end of the day, the first 6 films are, well, I guess the 6 films on this list are watchable. And since there's only 9, there's truly only a couple of bad ones. So again, this is my tier list. Let me know down in the comment section what you guys think. Where do you put yours at? Drop a like, leave a comment. Of course, don't forget to turn on the notification bell. That way you guys get notified every time I go live here on YouTube, over on Twitch, and anytime I bring you brand new horror franchise, horror content. I love you guys, and we'll catch you on the next video. Peace out.